Good morning, children. Aloha kako. It's so wonderful to see all of you today. How are you doing? Are you driving your parents crazy yet? Oh, who could that be? Just a minute, let me go see who's out the door. Oh, good morning. So children, we're very lucky. We have a special visitor today. Who do you think it could be? It's Coconut Monkey. Say good morning to the children, Coconut Monkey. Good morning, children. How are you today? Aloha. Yes, the Coconut Monkey is here to read the story today. But Sensei, why are you giving words in my mouth? What do you mean, Coconut Monkey? I can see your lips moving. My lips aren't moving. No, like right now, I can see them moving. Okay. Why don't you just go ahead and read the story? The Kids Who Say Thank You Too Much, a children's story. Story by Kari Kiyohara and illustrated by Reverend Kojun Hashimoto and Mrs. Takako Hashimoto. The Kids Who Say Thank You Too Much. Once upon a time, in a magical place called Hawaii, there lived a little girl and a little boy. Hawaii was filled with kind and gentle people who always said aloha with big smiles and friendly hugs. One day, the little girl and the little boy were walking to school. Suddenly, the school bully, who was always grumpy and mean, stopped them. "Give me your lunch money." The little girl and the little boy smiled and said, "Thank you," and gave the bully their lunch money. The school bully was surprised because usually kids were afraid of him, and that made him feel strong. The school bully was so confused, he gave their lunch money back. "Thank you," said the little boy and little girl. Then some bigger kids started teasing the little girl and the little boy. "You're dumb," they said, "and silly too." The little girl and little boy smiled and said, "Thank you. Yes, we need to study harder. Thank you." The bigger kids were confused because usually the kids they teased would cry, and that would make them feel powerful. So they stopped teasing the little girl and the little boy. At recess, the little girl and little boy were playing in the sandbox, making a big sandcastle in the sand. Suddenly, the school bully and the bigger kids ran over their castle until it was just little piles of sand. The school bully and the bigger kids were sure that the little boy and the little girl would cry. But the little girl and little boy smiled and said, "Thank you. Now we can make an even better castle. Thank you." The school bully and the bigger kids were very confused. Usually little kids would be sad and start to cry. Shaking their heads, the school bully and bigger kids said, "What's wrong with these kids? They say thank you too much. It's no fun to bully or tease them." Just then, Amida Buddha appeared. Amida smiled and said, "What happened, children? Why are you all looking so confused?" The school bully said, "Amida, I was mean to the little girl and little boy. I took their lunch money, but they said thank you. I was so confused because usually kids are scared of me, so I gave them their money back. And they said, "Thank you," again. The bigger kids said, "We teased the little kids and called them names. The little girl and little boy just smiled and said, 'Thank you.' Usually, little kids cry when we tease them, but they just said, 'Thank you.'" The school bully and the bigger kids said, "And then we ran over their sandcastle until it was just little piles of sand. We were sure they'd cry, but the little girl and little boy just said, 'Thank you,' because we gave them a chance to build an even better sandcastle." The school bully and bigger kids said, "The little girl and little boy say thank you too much, and it's no fun to bully them or tease them or smash their sandcastle." Amida Buddha smiled and said, "What did you learn from the little girl and little boy?" The school bully thought carefully and said, "I know. Sometimes things don't go the way we want them to. And I only bully little kids because it makes me feel strong. But in my heart of hearts, I'm lonely because I'm so much bigger than the other kids. They are afraid of me. That's so silly. I just want to be friends." Amida Buddha smiled and said, "That's very wise. Sometimes we do things without thinking that actually end up hurting us more than the other people." The bigger kids thought carefully and said, "We know. We only tease little kids because we are secretly afraid someone will tease us. We are afraid someone will call us names or make fun of us. That's so silly. We just want to be friends." Amida Buddha smiled and said, "That's very wise. Sometimes we try to hurt other people's feelings because we are afraid they might hurt ours." The little girl and little boy smiled at Amida and said, "Thank you, Amida. You taught us that life can be difficult sometimes, but that is an opportunity to be kind and gentle to every living thing. You taught us that nothing lasts forever, but that just means we can always start over. We should be thankful for everything that happens in life." Amida Buddha smiled and said, "You children are so wise. Now, what will you all do today?" The school bully, the bigger kids, the little girl, and the little boy all smiled and said together, "We're going to say thank you too much and share what we have, speak pure and beautiful words, and play together in harmony. Namo Amida Butsu." Thank you, Amida. Amida Buddha smiled and said, "Mahalo, children, for being such wise girls and boys. Anytime you need me, just say Namo Amida Butsu. I am always ready to help you." All the children smiled and waved to Amida and said, "Mahalo, Amida. Thank you for always helping us. Namo Amida Butsu." And the children all lived happily ever after, playing together in harmony on a white sandy beach in a magical place called Hawaii, 8 beautiful islands in the middle of the big blue sea. The end. Wasn't that a nice story? Let's say thank you to the coconut monkey. Thank you, coconut monkey.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for listening. Sensei, you're doing it again. You're moving your lips and making me talk.
Okay. Now we're going to have an adult Dharma story. So would you like to listen to the Dharma story for adults? Okay, very good. So you just sit there.